Hey everybody, thanks for listening. I got a baby coming. Could be 2 weeks, could be a month, but if you can, go to patreon.com/sitdownpod. Support the show. $5 a month gets you a show every single day. Thank you very much. Welcome to the sit down, everybody. Being online, it's toxic, it's mean, it's bad. You get your feelings hurt. You have people lob personal attacks at you. But sometimes it's good. Sometimes we make friends. Sometimes we meet people that we vibe with, and then you follow each other, and then it's almost like having a real friendship. But it's on the computer. You know what I'm saying? And today we're talking to one of my friends from the internet. This episode is dedicated to all the friends that you make online. And today we're talking to Christina Duzmanian. How's it going?
Great, thank you. And wow, you pronounced my last name right. Good job.
How else do people pronounce it?
Generally they don't. They'll like start. They'll be like Dow, Duz. And I'm like, sorry, how do you say it? You know, like most people don't actually say the full name. But yeah, great job.
Thanks. When we were kids, my mom would always know when there was a telemarketer because they would pronounce our name wrong because they would say resign or recline, or they would say get out of our neighborhood, you wops. You know, they would say go back to Sicily.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. That was but yeah, I do want to talk about because I think the time that I got to know you was with you were with the whole you had a post. Okay, you had a post about beef stew, but let's go back because I guess there was another time that you went viral before that, right? Just from the way your boyfriend loaded the dishwasher.
Oh yeah, I can't remember if that was before or after, but seemingly every time I tweet about my boyfriend, Stevie, it like has like, I don't know, the star power to it, I guess, because people either relate to it, like to me or to him. But yes, the beef stew tweet was because he had been asking me to make beef stew. And so, you know, we went to Trader Joe's and they had this package of meat that was like called like stewing meat. And so I got some of that and I started making the beef stew. He got home from work and he's like, what are you making? And I was like, beef stew. And he said, well, why are there like chunks of beef in it? And and I was really
Which is a pretty
confused
wild
by
thing
that.
to say, right? Like, where does he think that beef stew comes from?
Yeah, I have no idea. I guess his mom got the kind of meat that's like that, like flattened out with the cube pattern on it. I don't know. But, you know, they're not Irish or, you know, they're like, his family's like Cuban, but they're white. Like they've been here for a long time. So it's not like it's their specialty either. So I don't know why he had this hankering for beef stew, which I had never made. I think I've maybe eaten once in my life in Dublin. So yeah, so I just posted about it being funny and I, you know, for some reason it went viral.
Yeah. And
I think that's how we started following each other.
Sometimes I feel like we're the first generation of people in history that have to literally bear the brunt of everybody's like insane opinion, just absolutely insane opinions. Because I'm sure you didn't think that post was gonna catch on or anything or pick up the way it did, right?
No, and I mean that just goes for anything that people get mad at me at or like willfully misinterpret. It'll always be like some innocuous tweet or like something. You know, like if I get really stoned before I go to bed, I'll tweet something ridiculous and then wake up in the morning and have a bunch of people like yelling at me or being like, wow, imagine tweeting shit like this. And it's like, I'm sorry. I was like, I was literally just like high as hell trying to go to sleep. And then I tweeted something out. But yeah, people project a lot of weird shit. So like people were like, dump him, like men are so like, you know, like men are so ungrateful and like all this shit. And I was just like, I mean, he's still pretty happy about the stew. It's just a joke. It's like,
right. He just doesn't know how beef stew is made, which is
right.
fine. Yeah, I don't think our parents had to deal with people like yelling at them over a tweet about like honey or something. You know, it's very funny to have
No,
to.
definitely not.
I posted a video on TikTok like a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if you've been to New York, but it's hard to drive a truck in New York sometimes. Like you can't just put the address into your GPS because there's parkways everywhere. The city's full of parkways. New York State is full of parkways, so there's only a few
Right.
routes that you can take to travel within New York City. So I just made this video about how like I'm a trucker and how I hate all the parkways and I like, fuck all the parkways. And then somebody like responded and they were like, the more I see these videos, I hate all of you. Black trucker, white trucker, Hispanic trucker. Fuck all y'all. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
That guy hates truckers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess you have to laugh at it, but it's just funny. I mean, most of the stuff you laugh at, but then every once in a while, sometimes, do you find that people ever, like, get under your skin?
I mean, generally, no. I am pretty sensitive. So, like, okay, the thing I will, like, admit to is that I will respond to negative comments. Like, I can't help myself.
I can't help it. I love it.
Yeah, same. And I'm also just like a very aggressive person in real life. Like not like mean, but I just like, you know, if someone flips me off in traffic, I'm gonna roll down my window and be like, you got something to say?
Yeah.
And you know, so like I'm just very confrontational. So even if a tweet like has, you know, hundreds of quote tweets or whatever, I'm gonna look through them. And if someone's gonna say something like, you know, it's fine if people have like their jokes to make, I'll just like it and move on.
Right.
But if someone's like saying something like, so one time I posted some screenshots of a text I sent Stevie where I was like, I'm going to redecorate the living room. And he was just like, okay, yep. Like, and a bunch of like these, I don't know, these like 17-year-olds found my tweet and were like, guess we know who wears the pants in the relationship or whatever. And, or like being like, you can tell that guy like has no say in anything. And it's like, well, you know, okay, but I mean, this is obviously like about decorating. Like, did you want the input? Like,
Exactly.
Did you want to have any input on this? Like, because, you know, my boyfriend doesn't, he doesn't really care.
Look at Christopher Lowell over here who wants decorating input.
For real. But so yeah, I'll always like respond and clear things up, which I shouldn't do. It's a sign of weakness, but like I said, I can't help it.
I know. I guess the proper response is just to not let it bother you and kind of move on with your day. But it's just I don't know. It is like, I mean, we're only human. It's you know, I posted a video of my wife and you know, a couple days ago, and then somebody some guy was like, oh yeah, you're both fat. Don't get the vaccine. I hope it makes you get the vaccine because it makes you infertile. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. And I think it was one of Tim Dillon's like awful fans, his fucking, you know,
oh god,
that group of degenerates that he cultivates. But I just found myself, I think I blocked the guy, but I did write down the name of his band. And I don't know. I just find myself going back and forth between like, because I have these fantasies because there's a couple people that have really kind of gotten under my skin online, and I do sometimes, you know, during the day I'll find myself daydreaming about different revenge fantasies. And one of the ones that I was thinking about was because there's one guy in Ohio that kind of got under my skin, and I was thinking if I could find somebody with like really girly handwriting, just write a letter to his house. And to act like he's having an affair, and just like,
oh wow,
and just like, yeah, and just completely destroy his life, and not even see it happen, not even see his wife find the letter, but just yeah, I think that would be fun.
Well, I can help you with that. I have pretty girly handwriting.
Perfect. I need his. I know. I'm trying to slowly, because basically what happened was, last summer, I went to a massage parlor with my wife, and the guy videotaped her. So I posted about that, and then I was like, the massage parlor already had a bunch of complaints. I had a bunch of complaints about it online, and then this guy was like, it had a bunch of complaints online, but you went anyway. And
fuck that guy, man.
Yeah. So now I know. So now I know his. So his name is. Sorry, this is going in the episode, but his name. All right, he lives, and his name is. But now, if you're a listener to the show, don't harass him because I'm trying to slowly build up. You know, I'm trying to slowly destroy his life. I don't want to do it all right away, and he hasn't blocked me yet because I did send him a couple messages, and I was like, if you block me, you're a coward. So hopefully he won't block. But we still follow each other. He follows me. I follow him. I don't know. He mentioned that he was from Cleveland. I don't know exactly where he lives, but I don't know. I don't know. What's your advice?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't follow him. I would just maybe unfollow him. I've never had like that level of I don't know, conflict with someone online. So I have no advice for you. I'm sorry, but I think you're on the right track though. Keep plotting, you know. Maybe don't put his name in the episode though, because you know.
You think
I don't know.
You think I should bleep it out?
Maybe.
All right, let me timestamp that. It would be funny though, because you know how like the whole thing is like, oh well, if you have fans, if you're online, you have listeners that harass people. But it would be funny if I had a group of listeners to the podcast that were so loyal that they could just help me slowly ruin this guy's life.
This is for Mike, bitch.
Yeah, and it's just they put like meat in his living room or something. You know, they disguise themselves as a internet repairman, and they just put
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, but that's the funny thing. I mean, I guess people say that you shouldn't respond to sign of weakness, but sometimes you just kind of have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And what's funny is that people like my other Twitter friends who go viral more regularly always like, oh, I just mute it as soon as people start like replying to it a bunch. And I do that too, but then I just still find myself like checking the quote tweets and the replies. So it's like, what's the point?
Right. Because then you want to see what people are saying about you, and you want to be like, you know, because a lot of times it's like, this is so funny. This made my day, you know?
Yeah.
You're my favorite. Do you need me to go to Ohio and kill anyone? But yeah. So, but all right. So you mentioned Confrontation earlier. I want to ask you a little bit about that because
sure.
I was doing a moving job for my friend yesterday, and I had a U-Haul, and then I was turning onto a street, and there was another U-Haul there. So and this U-Haul was double parked kind of close, and so I turn onto the street, and then I'm like going really slow because I don't want to hit anything, and there's these guys on the street, and the guys on the street go, pull your mirror in, man. And then my friend Whitney goes, you pull your mirror in, because their mirror was out. And I don't know. I worry about Confrontation. Do you like it? Do you ever worry that anything bad's going to happen? Do you, are you comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm very extroverted, and I've been working from home for a couple of years. Pre-pandemic, I would go out every weekend without fail, just have a drink with my friends and spend all my time outside, just because I needed that recharge of seeing other people. And now that I don't have that, I think it's I have this pent up energy. And so now especially I've always before the pandemic, I would drive around this stupid little Mini Cooper that was pretty fast, and I would always cut people off, and then they would always get me in trouble. And I love to rile people up, but now it's extra. And I do love it. Actually recently,
but you don't worry about getting killed or anything?
No, my boyfriend certainly does, and he's told me not to tell him anymore because it really stresses him out, especially because we live in Florida, so there's a bunch of psychos here. But sure. I just recently I cut someone off to make a left-hand turn at the light. We both made it, it was fine, but he just stayed behind me flashing his lights. So I just slowed to a stop, and I I parked, in the street, and I opened my door, and I turned around and I go, what? And then he like, I don't know, I think he wasn't expecting that, so he just like sped away. But yeah, like, you know, like, yeah, I know it's frustrating or annoying that someone cut you off and you can't believe it, but like, dude, you made it. It like it, you know, it altered your course for what, like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So like, if you're gonna, you know, keep flashing your lights at someone, like indicating that like you're so fucking mad, like at least you know, tell me something, like be like, yeah, bitch, like don't do that shit. But no, he just like sped away, like, and he had his girlfriend or wife in the car.
Oh,
and
really?
She was obviously freaking out. Yeah. Because and also like I had my sling on, so I think they were like, what the fuck is going on with this girl? Like she's like been in a fight before or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like they were like totally freaked out, and my boyfriend's just like, why do you do this? Like, no. I told him after the fact. Okay, like I was excited, I was hyped. I got home and I was like, you know, full of adrenaline, and I was just like, this is so exciting. And he's like, someone could have shot you. Like,
I know that's what they always say, but it's like, but most people won't shoot you. So I think it's almost like that's a pretty good roll of the dice that you won't that you won't die in a road rage incident.
Well, yeah, and the people, like, in this scenario, I would be the one to shoot someone, right? Like, I'm the one with road rage. So what are the odds that I'm going to find someone with even worse road rage?
Right. It's like finding your soulmate. That's how you find
it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's see. What else can we talk about? I want to ask you a little bit about. Well, what I like about your content is that you're always decorating, you're always remodeling. You remind me of my mom a lot, because my mom was always, you know, moving furniture around and stuff, and rearranging the house and painting. And sometimes you go on vacation and you come back and the whole house would be different. And what do you think that is? Is that some kind of mental illness, do you think, or is it just a personality trait?
I think it's a I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I think I'm very like impulsive, and I get fixated on these things. Like I just go through phases where I get really into something, and then I get over it pretty quickly, and that I think is reflected in my personal style, like at home. But I think it's also driven by the fact that I guess most, like, anyone listening to this wouldn't know, but like I live right by this thrift store that has really good furniture. And I also spend a lot of time on OfferUp, which is like a online like listing thing where people can sell shit.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like everything I get is so cheap. Like I never spend more than, you know, $100 on any piece of furniture. Most of the stuff I'm buying is like $30, $40. And so I'll buy this stuff and I'll be like, wow, this is such a great deal. And I'll have to get it for my house, and then I'll have to like rework everything in it to kind of go with this new piece that I just bought, you know?
Sure.
And I think it's like I keep being validated by it, because then I'll sell my old pieces for more than I bought them for.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's like I'm not only am I enjoying it, like the actual thrill of hunting for these pieces of furniture and redecorating my house and all that stuff, but I'm also like slightly making a profit off of it. So
sure.
It doesn't feel like there are any downsides to it, aside from, you know, my poor boyfriend being exhausted from moving stuff all the time.
Yeah, it is crazy the stuff that people throw out, and the relationship that you have. Furniture is such a weird thing, because you would think that everybody could just get furniture for free based on what rich people are throwing away. Because there's so much. There's such a. Because I used to work for 1-800-GOT-JUNK, so there's such a high volume of like nice furniture being thrown out all the time, and just not having time to donate it or to store it or whatever. So it just has to. There's pieces of furniture that I think about that I threw out in like 2013. That I just put in a dump truck and pushed the button and made them come out of the truck, and they just ended up in the landfill. And
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that. Well, my boyfriend, you know, his family, they make custom furniture for rich people, and for like yachts and stuff and nightclubs. But mostly they furnish rich people's houses, and a lot of times these people would be like, oh, like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this old, designer couch, whatever designer, sometimes shit like Fendi or like Roche Bobois or whatever. They're like, just dump it, take it wherever. And like that's, like not only like my boyfriend and his family, but like a lot of their friends and stuff have just benefited from like rich people just tossing out their furniture that's like maybe a couple of years old.
Yeah.
They're replacing it. And it's more like effort and time for them to actually find a way to donate it or sell it than to just toss it out.
Yeah.
Like we have this beautiful pendant lamp in our kitchen that one of their clients got rid of. It's like this huge brass pendant light, and it was just like from one of their clients' house, and I looked it up recently, and it's like a $1,500 light.
Yeah.
And they're like, put it in the trash, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, nobody should ever have to go into debt for furniture.
No, absolutely not.
It's weird. There should be some kind of program. I want to ask you a little bit about working at the airport, because you said that you worked at O'Hare.
Oh, yeah.
I guess my question is, what was that like? Because you go to the airport. I'm at the point in my life where I'm sick of the airport. But when you're a kid, the airport is when you first start going to the airport, it's like very special, and it feels cool. I remember one of the first times I flew, I was like 12 years old. I went to Vegas. I went to see family in Vegas, and my uncle was complaining that the plane was too small. He was looking at my great uncle. He was like freaking out because he was like, "Why'd they give us this shitty plane?" And he thought it was too small. But I don't know what's it like. What's it like working at the airport, and what's the commute like, and is it different than other jobs that you had? Anything, I don't know, any takeaways from that experience?
Well, so like you said, it was O'Hare. I was living in Chicago at the time, and I was very lucky to live right off the California Blue Line stop.
Okay.
And
I think that's my favorite airport, by the way. I really like getting off
O'Hare?
the plane. Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you say that, because I think O'Hare is a great airport, and people are constantly shitting on it. And I've been lucky to have traveled a lot in my life. I was born in France, and my mom has always been really into traveling, so we've taken a lot of flights, and I've been to a lot of airports. And honestly, I think O'Hare is really nice, and definitely one of the best American airports. I think maybe Atlanta is probably like the only one I can think of that's better. But I really like
big,
O'Hare
though.
as well.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, Atlanta is big, and it has all these restaurants and bars and stuff. But so I think O'Hare is really nice. And since I lived off the Blue Line, I don't know if you know, it goes directly into the airport. So I would just I had to open, so I'd have to be there at like 6 a.m. So I would just it was like a 25-minute commute.
Where did you work?
Sorry. I worked for this chocolate company called Vosges.
Okay.
It's like a fancy chocolate company. This was, back in 2012. So, the company made like bacon chocolate, and shit like that. But it was like
I'm glad
$40.
that trend's over, by the way.
Yeah.
Bacon,
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
But like a box of 10 chocolates was like $40 or something.
Okay.
But so I'd have to get in, it was like a 25-minute commute, not too bad. In the winter, I would literally just put on my puffy coat, get on the train, and just fall asleep until I got to the airport. But then I'd have to go through TSA, but we had a special line, so it's not like I ever had to wait too long.
Okay.
And then I'd open up my stand and work there, and it was normal, aside from the TSA guys were all creeps and weirdos.
That
no
makes
offense
sense.
to TSA guys, but
no, we can trash those those. I almost said something mean, but there's a yeah. Go ahead.
But aside from that, it was fun. I saw a lot of celebrities, because I worked in the international terminal.
Okay.
I saw the Kardashians. They weren't that famous back then. And I saw the Jonas Brothers. And I saw a bunch of people, actually. It was cool. I didn't hate it. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun time.
There's nothing worse than being lectured by TSA, though. You know, when something happens or a bag falls over, and then just some guy with acne is like, "This is why we tell you to take your shoes off first." You know?
Ugh, I know.
It's
Get over it.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh
well,
shoot, I have to hop.
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's all I want to say. I mean, I like the content a lot. You know, a lot of the, for some reason, a lot of the people I follow on Twitter are they're on left Twitter. You have to hop right now.
I have a minute still.
All right. I just like I like seeing the house. I like seeing the projects. I like seeing I like seeing some positivity. And you know, I think you can be politically left without being annoying. And I think that's what people appreciate about you. Yeah.
Aww.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you around.
See ya. Have a good one.
Bye. You too.
Okay, that was fun, huh, guys? Next, we're going to travel to Texas to talk to Thomas. Thomas is Leno Killer on Twitter, LEN0 Killer. And I like Thomas's social media presence. He's fun. He's clearly on social media to have a good time. And in a world where so many people are doing it to advance their careers, this guy just wants to make you laugh. Here's the interview.
You said you were online since you were like 12 or 13?
Something like that, yeah.
That would be so funny for someone to try to cancel you based on something that you said when you were 12.
Yeah, man, I hate school lunches.
Like, I think my principal's a gay homosexual or something like that. Did you ever get in trouble in school? Did you ever like cross the line or make jokes that were off color or whatever?
Yeah. Here and there,
Yeah.
That was something that I kind of pretty much because I was homeschooled till 4th grade.
Were you?
And yeah, pretty much as soon as I got to public school, I was actively a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't like sit still, like I just got to entertain myself. So I just sort of talk whenever, like, I mean, I don't as much anymore, but also like, sometimes I'll get bored at work or something, and then I look up and I've just been like looking at a tree for like 12 minutes or something. I'm like, wow,
yeah,
I'm not really doing anything here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume you also had your
Yeah, I remember one time being in high school, so I did like the school musical every year, and they would have this thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Nice, man. Oh,
well, there wasn't anything
fun with that.
There, I did have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man. No, I don't doubt it. I mean, you seem like you'd have a lot of fun with the school musicals.
I had a lot of fun playing. Yeah.
No, you played. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just.
Oh, I'm
you just seem like that type of guy. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, fine. Yeah. Okay. But they did this thing called a memory book where like the girls would go around. They'd be like, "Hey, let's write some memories." Well, let's write some memories. So this is all right. So I'm going to start this story with the end of the story. The end of the story is that I find myself. I get called down to the principal's office, and I have to talk. I have to talk to the principal and this lady who was like the discipline coordinator. So cut back to. I don't know why I threw that. I don't even know if that makes it a good story or not. But
wow. But yeah.
I'm in the principal's office. So we had the. So we did the musical, and they had us write this memory book. Now we had a new director of the school musical because the old director, this guy Mr. Sinclairis, who I thought was like my favorite teacher. He was like a funny fat guy who was probably like my age. At this point, funny guy who like liked movies and stuff. He directed the school show, but he left because his wife had a baby, and they had tried to get pregnant a lot. I think his wife had like 4 miscarriages or something. So he finally had his like miracle baby. Mm-hmm. So he has the baby. This is my sophomore year. He directed the play my freshman year, and my sophomore year he was out, and a new lady came in. So in my little blurb that I wrote in the memory book, I said, "Thank you to all the teachers. thank you to Miss Dunn and Mrs. Cusack, and then I said, and to Mr. Sinclair. Now he wasn't the director anymore, and they replaced him with this lady, Ms. Wilson, who was like, I didn't really like her. She was one of these. She was kind of arrogant. She was like an arrogant like theater lesbian,
Yeah.
If you can imagine. So anyway, I write in the memory book. I'm like, thank you to Miss Dunn and thank you to Mrs. Cusack and to Mr. Sinclair. I hope your kid turns out to be retarded. And for some reason,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and for some reason, that wasn't flagged or vetted or anything. They just printed that in the memory book. I just wrote it because I'm, So he comes in and like, I'm in history class one day. Now we also had a film club at the school that he was the student advisor on, and the day
Were you
before,
in that too?
I was in that too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
good,
like
man.
not as gay as yeah.
No, I didn't say it was. I just said you seem like someone who'd enjoy that.
Who would enjoy music? Yeah, I do enjoy music.
Yeah, no, you really do.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
it's a good outlet.
We did Anything Goes, Music Man, and The Wiz. They tried to get more black kids involved in musical theater, so we did The Wiz.
Italian Wiz.
Yeah. And they had all the white kids in which is fine. Not complaining about that. But so the day before, I was like I think I was like making fun of the vice principal. We had a vice principal at the school who talked really funny, and I was making fun of him in film club the day before. So Sinclair is the teacher. He comes to my history class. So he's like, "Can I talk to Mike Racine outside?" And he pulls me out of class, and he's like, "I'm like, hey, by the way, I should apologize." He's like, "For what?" I'm like, "Hey, I shouldn't have made fun of Mr. Scarata the other day, the principal who talked funny, because apparently the guy was like deaf in one ear or something." Now this is the same principal who I wanted to do a comedy show at the school, and he like flagged it. He was like, he like postponed it. I wanted to do it in October, and they ended up doing it in May. So I had a little beef with this guy. So anyway, Mr. Sinclair is all mad. He's like, "No, this isn't about that. This is about what you wrote in the memory book, saying that you hope my kid turns out to be retarded." he's like, really, he's like, after all me and my wife went through, it's crazy that kids know that much about their teachers, their teachers' personal lives.
Yeah.
But he's
teachers
like, this
really shouldn't say that much.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. They'll keep doing it, but I mean,
yeah. I
remember there was a rumor at my high school that one of the teachers spread that, so one of the teachers he got married and then he left like that summer or whatever, and a rumor was spread that he had a pirate themed wedding, and it carried on for like 3 years.
Yeah,
because he never came back to clear it up. So everybody thought he had a pirate themed wedding.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then once that happens, it's like they can't. What do they really?
Yeah.
They can't really live it down. There was a reading teacher at our school, and her husband went around flashing people. That like kids knew about it. And I guess one time, like a kid like brought it up in class. Like she was like, "Where are you?" She said something, and he was like, "All right." He's like, "I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a flash." And then she like started crying. They had to shut down. This was years before me. But yeah.
Why would you keep being a teacher?
I don't know. It's weird. I've said this before. It's always weird seeing those little windows into their personal lives. You see what kind of car they drive, or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so Sinclair's is really mad. He's like, until you graduate, he's like, don't talk to me anymore. He's like, don't, because we were friends. He's like, don't call my house. I don't know why he was such a drama queen about it. Looking back, because I felt really bad. And I guess I'll just fast forward to the end of the story. His kid did turn out to be.
Oh, no.
His kid has autism. I don't know how severe the autism is, but I guess.
Can he eat like a taco, like unsupervised, or is it like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know, but so that's how I found out about.
In the
my
back
powers.
of his head, like that is your fault now.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he did bring it up. I saw him years later, and he's like, "So you know my son and that thing you said about him." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." So anyway, now I'm just kind of bummed out.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you don't mind, like the next like 40 minutes or so, I'll just keep like bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. Like I've done some things, but like,
Yeah.
that's way worse.
Yeah.
No, I live sort of out in the woods, and there's these. Anytime I leave my house, I have to go across these 2 ponds, and so there's a lot of like ducks and all that in there.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I was driving, and crossing the road was a turtle, and it's a pretty low traffic area, but I figured, I got time. I'll help this turtle across.
Mm-hmm.
And I get out, walk up to it, and it's a snapping turtle, about built like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I just got back in the car. I didn't help that thing. I'm not. You ever see a snapping turtle?
I've never, once in my life, I rescued a turtle in Brooklyn. There was a turtle walking across Flatbush Avenue, right near where Prospect Park is.
Yeah.
And I got out and I picked it up, and I put it back on the
just
grass.
Out in the concrete jungle.
It was just out in the there's a road that kind of goes right through Prospect Park.
Yeah. To keep in mind, Brooklyn to me is maybe 4 blocks in total.
Yeah.
I don't know how New York works.
Okay.
So I might be going there this summer. We'll see.
Nice.
I gotta get my affairs in order.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, turtles are cool. Would you snap a turtle's neck to save your wife? You would.
To save my wife, of course.
Yeah.
Would you kill would you kill what if there was like an endangered species, like some kind of rare bird, and there was only one left and it attacked your wife? And you snapped its neck, and then you had a bunch of people mad at you.
It's not that hard to find a new wife, but a new species takes a long time to make.
For sure.
But yeah, no. Also, well, I would off instinct kill the endangered species because first off, I'm not. I don't work for National Geographic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna feel anything when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not even rage or pain or I'm gonna be it's gonna be like a piece of chalk doing it.
Right.
And that's just how I am,
Right.
Whenever I finally get my blood rushing and my hands just wrap around the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel it snapping, there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's an ocean and there's just no waves in it. Man.
Yeah. How did you know it was a snapping turtle?
Because of the beak on it.
Okay.
So a box turtle or whatever is just it's just a regular turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you cross you see a turtle, when it's a turtle. A snapping turtle has like this big sharp beak on it, and it's got this huge neck, and it's way bigger than a regular turtle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one wasn't huge. They get pretty big. This one wasn't crazy big. That's why I thought it was a regular turtle. But they're like almost like tortoise sized.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
But they've got this tongue that's like disgusting looking. It's like they like poke it out like as bait almost for fish to come in, and then they'll snap.
Okay.
But they could like take your finger off easy.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, just watch out, man.
I'm gonna Google image search. Do you? Let me ask you this: do you have like a self-defense plan for different types of animals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Which?
think I'm gonna give that away?
Well, I mean, you give me something.
What animal are we talking here?
Well, let's start with something easy, like a big dog.
Big dog.
Yeah, not like a mastiff, but like a medium-sized, like aggressive dog. Maybe like a pitbull or a German Shepherd or something.
See, when I think a big dog, I think what I need to control most is the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not in that much. They can push you over.
Mm-hmm.
and your ground game needs to be decent. But like neck and belly is what I think of.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see the chest on like a bull mastiff.
Yeah.
You know, you're not you can punch it pretty hard and it's not going to do a whole lot to it.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
So I would try and kick it in the face really hard.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna those things can break distance pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be an up close situation, which obviously it will have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, one is running at me from about a quarter mile away, and I have a sharp hatchet with me, and I throw it precisely down the middle, and it just splits the whole dog in half.
Right.
But a lot of times it won't work out like that.
Yeah.
You'll find against pit bulls, most kids don't even bother to think of a strategy. They mess it up every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But,
I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've
yeah,
seen enough local news. Yeah.
Yeah. What would your strategy be with a big dog?
I guess it depends where it is, but I guess you wanna. Controlling the neck is good. I think. I mean, a friend of mine told me that's what you do. You put it in a headlock, then you fall, and then it like snaps the dog's neck.
Yeah. It's way easier with like a poodle or something.
Sure. Yeah, your mom's Yorkie or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good
Just
dog.
throw it out the window or something.
Right. That's a good dog to practice on.
Yeah.
And then I guess you put your finger in its butt.
I'm not going to do that.
I would. I guess that's where me and you are different, Thomas.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm not going to... If I've got... My arms aren't very long. I don't have that kind of reach.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the back end of it's not going to be docile.
Well, I just imagine if it's attacking someone, if it's like got its jaws on somebody or somebody
It's
or
probably
something
clinched
you
up.
care about. Right, but I think to get it to release the grip, you go for the finger in the butt. That's from what my
Do you have to wiggle it, or
I think you just put it in there and it just
how long do you leave it in there?
you just put, I guess, until it lets go.
You kind of give it one of those.
Yeah, you get it wet first.
Yeah.
You spit on your finger.
Dude, can you imagine the fear of you're running at somebody with the intention to kill them, and all they do is just
Right.
they just wet.
Thomas
their
is
finger.
licking his finger, and
No,
yeah.
it was an example. Actually, I wasn't even doing that.
Thomas
I
has
was
produced a bottle of lube out of his pocket, and he's lubing up his
Yes.
finger.
because I came prepared because I'm a comedian.
Yeah. Right.
Do you? I hate to ask this. Do you mind if I drink a Gatorade on your show?
No, please.
Oh, okay, good. I brought
I
one
would-
just in case.
I'd be insulted if you didn't. If you felt like you couldn't.
I'm wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah. What other animals do you have a plan against? Maybe like a mountain lion? That's kind of the
Horse.
same thing. Horse. Okay.
I'm going for the eyes.
You're going for the eyes.
I'm watching the teeth,
Uh huh.
and obviously I'm watching the hooves, but I don't expect to control the hooves in the least.
Sure.
Horse is actually something I would try and break distance on.
What's the height on the average horse eye?
Maybe 5 feet, 5'5", something like that.
Oh yeah. I guess I'm just imagining.
I'm just thinking. I mean, they can. Well, it's hard to think because, like, whenever a horse comes up to you, it lowers its head a little bit to your level. I would say maybe
Right. Okay.
6 foot,
Mm-hmm.
like just standing out forward. A mountain lion you brought up.
Yeah.
Mountain
I'm
lion,
thinking
you're
mountain lion and gorilla.
Mountain lion, you're going to die.
You're gonna die. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They
You remember that guy
You
in
don't have
Denver a
one.
couple years ago, though, that I guess he got attacked by a mountain lion and then he like strangled it to death, and then
did you hear about the follow up on that?
yeah, it was like a baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killed like a baby mountain lion. I can't imagine the whole. He did that to tell that story.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was a full-grown mountain lion,
Uh huh.
and then the bite marks were that of like a baby.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how he didn't get killed by maybe the mom had died or something.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see that video last year? That guy who was getting like followed by the mountain lion. He had like the
I vaguely
GoPro or
remember
whatever.
it. Yeah.
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 Well, that's because he was, from what I was reading, he was in like, he got too close to the baby and didn't realize.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so, like, that mountain lion wasn't hunting him. It was like
Defending it herself.
It was defending the cub.
The cub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they leave you alone generally, or if you encounter one, is it going to be?
If you encounter one, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're really hard to see.
Yeah.
They're really good at camouflaging. We have some here, but they're not like common, I'd say. Like they're not commonly seen.
Okay.
But they are out there. But there's guys in Texas who hunt mountain lions. Like they track and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And what mountain lions do when they're being hunted is they track you down.
Right.
Like they'll also be trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really scary. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Not really my cup of tea.
Right.
To say the least. Mountain lion, if you see it, I mean, good luck.
Right.
You know, because it probably doesn't mind being seen in that situation.
It's interesting talking about this stuff because I, just being a city person reminds me of just how disconnected I am from the land, Like if you want to ask me about like a particular race of person, how to interact with them, I could tell
What
you.
does a Chinese guy look like,
Yeah, right. Well, you'll know when you see one.
Yeah.
But
Mike's doing the thing with his fingers.
no, I'm not.
No, he is. I can see him. I mean, there's copperheads and there's rattlesnakes, but I mean, you're probably not going to die from that unless you're in a remote enough area.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get to a hospital, you will be fine. Unless you get bit in like an artery or something, or in the neck.
Okay.
Then you not ideal, but I know a lot of people who have been bit by like copperheads and stuff, and they're fine.
Are they fast?
I say,
Are they fast?
So copperheads don't like hunt you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just blend in with the leaves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a picture of one.
Okay.
They don't. They're not like. I mean, it's just a snake. It's not. They're not looking for trouble,
Mm-hmm.
but they are pretty venomous. Whenever I was a kid, one time, because I've lived in the same house for like 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was a kid, I was playing basketball out on the driveway, and I completely airballed one. It rolled into the woods, and this was like sort of getting to be nighttime, but not quite. It was just getting dark, and so I ran into this tall grass. Didn't have shoes on or anything. I've always just gone barefoot out there, but went to pick it up, and then this copperhead just crawled in between my feet.
Yeah.
Just kept slithering. Pretty fun.
Jeez.
And then one time, you know what water moccasins are?
No.
That's what we call cottonmouths.
Okay.
Anyway, but there's this creek out back, and my brother almost stepped on one. And those are real bad.
Mm-hmm.
We had or my dad had this is one of my granddad's friends. That's who it was. He used to go boating.
Mm-hmm.
One day he hit a bump or something in the boat, and he fell off the back
Mm-hmm.
into a mating nest of cottonmouths, and they all just all just bit him, and he died. But
Your grandfather?
no, it was just a friend of
Oh, okay.
it's whatever.
Sorry.
I didn't know the guy or the granddad, so it doesn't
Oh, okay.
means nothing to me. But
Yeah.
no, pretty dangerous. I don't remember what this. I think I'm just saying things. These are things about snakes.
Yeah. No, I
So,
think people are into it.
Yeah.
We do have to wrap up in a little bit, but do you have any final thoughts or anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about?
Let's see. I don't really remember what we've been talking about, but thank you for thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
Mike.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course. We'll follow Thomas on Twitter. Do you want to plug your handle?
Yeah, it's Lino Killer, but do it at 0 instead of an O. I know it's hard, but just do your best.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll get it.
You'll be fine. Just have confidence. All right, cool. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
And we'll see you around. I'll see you online. And you guys know the drill. Patreon.com/sitdownpod, where you get a show every single day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow if you're a subscriber. And if not, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. I'm going to stop the recording, but stay on the line.